Back in the groove. We're gearing up for another season of The Bachelorette. Now, first I'll just ask you, are you excited? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm very excited. I'm very ready to see Katie find love. She's a dear, dear friend. So I'm ready to see kind of how it all unfolds for her. Because as we all know, there's lots of twists and turns when it comes to these seasons. So we'll see what happens.
Do you know the twists and turns?
No, but I can only assume, honestly. I went through it, I experienced it as a contestant. So I already know pretty much what the guys are going to go through, what they're going to be thinking and feeling. And knowing Katie, I know that she'll definitely handle herself really well. She knows exactly what she's looking for. So I doubt she's going to waste any time.
Well, that's what I was going to say because you're good friends with Katie. Katie was clearly a fan favorite from Matt's season. How do you think she'll do as a bachelorette?
I think she'll do great. Honestly, she and I had talked about this before, before it was really announced to anyone, that she feels ready. She's in a time in her life where she's ready to find a partner. She's ready to find someone to share that with. She literally has everything she could possibly want, and now she's just missing her partner. She has a great head on her shoulders. She definitely knows exactly what she wants. So I have no doubt that she's going to make the right choice.
What's her mood like these days? Because we know that she's done rapping. Is she happy? Does she
Yeah,
seem
I would say she's
fulfilled?
happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think so. It was really great seeing her in San Diego. She just had like this glow about her. And I think she was also just excited to be around friends as well. As you know, like you're filming for months on end. So it gets lonely after not seeing your friends and family for a bit. So it was really great getting to reconnect with her in San Diego. So I would say she's definitely happy.
And I saw the trip. It looked like y'all had fun. There were a few girls from the season, from Matt's season together, right? It was refreshing to see because I think that there's some people, I think I even asked you this question when we were podcasting, that I was like, are the girls close with Katie? So it was good to see a group of Bachelor girls hanging out with Katie.
Yeah. So myself, Tammy, Alana was there as well. And then a few other girls who I hadn't met. I mean, Sarah was there as well, but there were some other ladies who hadn't met before, like Tammy, for example. She's from Peter's
Mm-hmm.
season. And it was really awesome getting to know her, and getting to kind of make my own assumptions or judgments of her besides what I've seen on TV. And she's wonderful. So it was great to, meet new people as well and reconnect with them. But yeah, it was a good trip overall.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. I'm sure there had to have been some talk. There's no way you don't come fresh off The Bachelorette and not have a little tea to spill. Am I right?
A little, I mean, she definitely teased us, but in the most harmless way possible. Honestly, as her friend, I do want to actually experience it in real time along with everyone else. I want to see the stories unfold. I want to get to know these guys for who they are, that kind of thing. And I want to be surprised too. So I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Well, in the past, we've seen girlfriends come on The Bachelorette season. Will we see you on
Uh-huh.
Katie's season?
I don't know. You're going to have to tune in and watch. You're
Oh
going to
my
have to
gosh.
see. I
Who
cannot
PR
give
trained
any juicy
her?
details.
Okay,
You know how it goes.
let's talk about these details though. They've released the men from Katie's season. Have you
Yes.
taken a look?
Mhm.
A little sneak peek at
I
them.
have. I've seen a few of them. I don't quite have the names to faces just yet, but I did look over some of the guys. One in particular has a really interesting job description, a skin salesman.
What?
It sounds, yeah, one's a skin salesman. Sounds very Hannibal Lecter. That's what I'm getting from that. So I'm curious to see who he is.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't. That's not who Katie took home if she took home
I
someone.
know.
Clearly, Katie can't take all these men home, right? Even if she wants to, she can't. There can only be one.
Mhm.
So that means there are maybe 20, 30 plus, I don't know how many men there are from the season, that are available. So that
Mhm.
maybe we'll see them on the beaches of paradise. Do
Yeah,
you
maybe.
think you'll go to the beaches of paradise?
I mean, I'm very happily single. I do feel like I'm in a point in my life where I'm ready to meet someone as well. So, I mean, if I meet someone on the beach, then great. If I don't, that's fine too. But for the most part, I mean, we'll see if paradise is for me. I'm not quite sure yet.
Who's peak like sparks your interest from past seasons? I don't know how far back you go in watching seasons, but like, who would maybe have you had your eye on? Like, I'd like to get to know him.
I
He'd be
mean, I did get
interesting.
to meet some of the guys. I did get to meet some of the guys in San Diego, and it was refreshing to see them versus like what I've seen on TV. So those impressions of them just kind of faded away. So it was great to have real conversations and hang out, have fun. But Chris Conran definitely seems really sweet. So he's someone that I would be interested in getting to know more. But besides that, I think some other guys, although they may be cute, they certainly have to kind of show me who they are. And I can't quite make an assumption yet until I meet them.
Smart girl. Which guys were
Mhm.
on that trip in San Diego? Who was there?
So I was hanging around mainly Chris Conran. Chasen was there as well. A lot of Chris's were there, actually, several Chris's.
I'm
Chris
trying to think.
Randone was there. There's another Chris that was there. We had a big old group of guys.
Whose season was Chris Conran on?
Claire, he went home night one.
Okay, I'm like, that name does not
Hmm.
ring a bell. Chasen's a no. Do not.
Jason.
No. Okay, if I can give you any advice, no.
Okay, noted.
So, back to Katie's men, because we haven't had a chance to really see them outside of their
Mhm.
headshot.
Right.
They're like the school headshots. The skin salesman obviously stood out. Was there anybody who impressed you from the group?
I think the one that seemed the most wholesome to me, I don't know his name, but he was the math teacher.
Oh, a math
Seemed
teacher.
really sweet. So I was like, okay, I'll have an eye on him once the show airs. We'll see how far he goes too. I'll probably likely have favorites once the first episode airs, and then I get to kind of see and make my own little chart and find out, okay, maybe I like him for Katie or him for Katie. So we'll see.
Jessenia, you wouldn't be doing that if you weren't going to Paradise. That's what I'm going to say. And I can't remember who said this. A former contestant said, Paradise is already happening in the DMs. Is that true or
In the
false?
So for me, not necessarily. If anything, it's just been harmless, friendly conversation. Hey, I mean, at this point, is paradise for me? I don't know yet. But if it is, then I'd like to save those, important conversations for the beach. Why not? And it would be, again, us sharing our journeys with you all. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like it's inevitable these days. I remember when I was coming off The Bachelor, before Bachelorette,
Mhm.
and producers would say, be careful. People are going to slide in your DMs. Like a lot of guys are going
Yes.
to shoot their shot. I think it's safe to say that a lot of people probably slide in your DMs. Whether you entertain it or not, people slide in the DMs.
Right. Whether they're people from Bachelor Nation or just complete strangers altogether, definitely. I'm sure all of the ladies have dealt with that. Even the men too. I know I really commend the ladies who are totally shameless and they'll slide into a guy's DMs. I could never.
I couldn't either, but I feel like I just come from like a different time. Um,
Right.
do you think Katie will pick someone at the end of this?
I want to say she does. And I guess it's partially just like wishful thinking too. I do
Hmm.
genuinely want to see her happy. Now, the thing is, I know that she'll be happy whether she's in a relationship or not. I think she's someone who is completely whole on her own already. And she is a passionate person. So I have no doubt that she definitely wants to share that passion with someone. So my wishful thinking is yes, she does find somebody. I mean, she's so happy now that I can't imagine that she didn't. So we'll see.
And Katie, one of the things I really like about Katie is she's outspoken. She seems to be a straight shooter, and that's
Yes.
kind of that's kind of how I roll too. And she was pretty vocal on her social media about her season and what she wanted to see. And then we
Mhm.
saw Tayshia and Caitlyn will be hosting her season. What has she said about having two female hosts for the first time ever? And it's starting with her season. So it's a bit historic.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a huge deal. To be honest, just my opinion, I always felt like it made the most sense that a bachelorette would have a female mentor.
Hmm.
And so to have two who have been through this journey before, I mean, that's like infinite knowledge coming from them now. And I'm sure she felt very secure in making her decisions and having them there. So yeah, I think she was really excited about it. She did say, you know, obviously she made a post about it as well, about girl power, women supporting women. So I'm very excited to see that unfold on screen.
I am too. I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really fun
Yeah.
season.
Yeah. I mean,
Jessenia,
please, they're both very fun too. So I have no doubt they're going to have fun with it.
you know, and one thing too I've observed, and it's not just with the season you were on with Matt's season, it's each season. Like we see one thing on screen, but then off screen it seems like there's just like a lot of harmony. And we've really seen a lot of the girls come together on Matt's season and hanging out,
Yeah.
whether it's in San Diego or it's in New York or it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
One, have you talked to Matt since the season's been over? And which girls are you close with from the season?
So I haven't talked to Matt since the season was over. If I'm honest, I was compelled to reach out to him after the airing of the episode where his dad came. I have no doubt that that was very difficult for him. In fact, one conversation that he and I had that wasn't aired was that although I couldn't relate to having two parents who are separated, I've seen how not having a father present has affected a man even into, you know, adulthood. My father didn't know who his dad was, but he was still capable of moving on from that, and he has a family, he has a successful career. You know, he was capable of just being happy moving forward, and I want that for Matt. And I did tell him, like, you will have that, you can have that. Don't dwell on, you know, not having your father around. But I don't know, I just felt like perhaps it was a lot going on, so I didn't want to be like one other DM among the thousands he was probably receiving. But besides that, as far as who I'm close to from this season, obviously I'm close to Katie. I'm very close to Bree as well, Michelle, Serena P, now Tammy from Peter's season as well. But many of the girls, it's like friendly conversation. I do chat sometimes with Abigail, and so it's been nice just kind of keeping up with each other via social media. Although we may be on two different coasts, I'm very grateful that social media at least keeps us connected.
Another beautiful conversation that we missed from the season. I wish we would have seen that. Thank you for sharing that. And also, it really has been fun to see all of you girls hanging out and different locations, and just the friendships that are built from the season. You know, I always say one of the ways to survive all of this is to find your girl group or your guy group, whoever it may be. You may not find love at the end of it, but you find love in friendship with the men or the women, depending on the season. Jessenia, thank you so much for stopping by, for talking with us, for chatting all things Bachelor.
Yes, of course.
We can't wait to see you in paradise. I just know, you know, I've been around the block a time or two.
It's always wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much for having me, and we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.